who doesn't immediately understand why is it so significant that they made him that offer and he turned it down?
Well, a couple of factors here going to consider. Number one, there have been people who have thought that if Green Bay granted Aaron Rodgers control of his future, that he wanted just control, that might be enough to keep him in Green Bay. Well, there was the control that they offered. They offered him the chance to become the highest paid player in football history. 5 more years in Green Bay. He turned it down. Obviously, there's a sign, again, that it's also not about the money. Some people thought perhaps that if they offered him enough, then maybe that would be something that could change his mind. And so the standoff continues, and these are conversations that have been going on throughout the offseason. We are now on July 20th, and the Packers have not been any more successful at changing Aaron Rodgers' mind about what he wants in the future. And so we are now at the point where he didn't take the extension, he didn't take the added money, he didn't take the added years, that we are now led to believe that potentially his arrival in Green Bay for training camp, if it happens, could be tied to his eventual departure from Green Bay after the season. And there are mounting signs that this will be his last season in Green Bay, if this season even happens. And I'm also told that Aaron Rodgers has gone back and forth on this, changed his mind an awful lot, hasn't made a final decision, doesn't know what he's ultimately going to do. So there's a lot of ways this still can go. But the fact of the matter is there are ongoing conversations between the two sides to see if there's a solution that would placate both sides. And I would imagine that would come in the form of some type of reduced contract, not a contract extension, but a contract reduction.
Right.
That would take his deal from 3 years to perhaps 1 year. And we don't even know whether that would be enough to bring him in for the start of camp, at the end of camp, the start of the season. We're all waiting to see what he ultimately decides.
It's all so interesting. So Dan Orklvksky, let's try and figure out what we think this means. Because I agree with the very first thing Shefty said there. We thought this was about control. Well, they offered him that. If they make him the highest paid player in NFL history, he's not getting benched for Jordan Love at any point in the foreseeable future. They let him control the idea that he would be the starting quarterback into the distant future in Green Bay, and they'd figure out the Jordan Love of it afterwards. He turned that down. Dan Orklvksky, what does that mean to you?
He wants out of Green Bay, and I have felt that way since the moment Shefty broke this news on NFL Live. That this is about Aaron Rodgers wanting to end his career in somewhere else. And it's because of the person who's his boss, who's running that organization, Ryan Gutekunst, the general manager, who drafted Jordan Love. When Shefty came on NFL Live that day and broke this news, my immediate thought that I said on television was, how do they fix it? Like, what is the answer? And we've seen 2 significant, at least, offerings by the Packers. That they sent everybody out west, per Shefty, for multiple meetings with Aaron Rodgers, owner or president, the general manager and head coach, to try and fix it. That didn't work. Now they're giving him the contract extension offer to stay in Green Bay, make a ton of money, and end his career there. And as of now, he has said no. So how does this end? Like, what is the olive branch extension that makes this go away? Because at the end of the day, the Packers need to understand he is serious. He does not want to play in Green Bay anymore.
And so, Mike T, as the general manager of the group, I kind of want to ask you, at what point do you give up? Like, he's so good and so important and all of those things, we understand that. But is there a point, and if so, what is it, where if you're running the show, you say to yourself, all right, he's not doing this. It is going to explode my season or implode my season. Like, when, if at all, would that happen if you were sitting in that chair?
Time is on my side, and I understand there's going to be distractions. And from a GM's perspective, I don't mean to minimize it, but every team is going to have distractions, and we have to take the long purview of things, which is we have to go well into the regular season of him missing regular season games before I would even ever consider trading him. He's an all-time great. We've been to back-to-back Final Four games. I don't want to trade Aaron Rodgers. I want to do everything I can within reason and then some to work it out. And just like Carson Palmer over a decade ago missed regular season games and eventually was traded from Cincinnati to the Raiders, I wouldn't do anything until regular season games were missed, because we got to keep in mind, guys, these draft choices aren't going to be used until next April. So time is on my side, and I would try to work it out. And this bears repeating, guys. This is not Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a carefully orchestrated plan. He
Right.
played out his contract. He left as a free agent. This is not that. You're under contract, and that matters.
Let me get Jeff in. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, fully agree with Mike T here, right? If you're the Packers, there is no way you can do anything right now. You have got to make Aaron Rodgers force your hand. Get into the regular season. Season's not starting well. Jordan Love's not playing well, whatever it looks like. And still Aaron Rodgers says no. I'm making that guy tell me no all the way into next season. I'm not going to let him go. He's going to play as a Packer this year, or he's not going to play at all. And then I'll make concessions and see about trades later. Because to Mike T's point, you move now and he goes and plays well, you put a death nail in your own career, right? And I heard Dan mention it, with Gutekunst and Mark Murphy, the whole deal, that Aaron Rodgers doesn't like him. Hey, sometimes you don't like your boss, you still go play, right? Like that may be part of it. And I think once Aaron starts seeing games be played and not being there, listen, I can tell you this, there's an addiction to going and playing big-time football. And Aaron Rodgers knows he's getting older. Sure. I'm going to force him to watch games before I allow him to go anywhere outside of Green Bay.
Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I didn't like some of my bosses either, but I was a backup, Jeff. So sometimes you don't sometimes you're not Aaron Rodgers as well. I got two questions. Where is the cutoff line for regular season games? Like, is it if we lose 3 in a row, then we'll have a conversation? Or what happens if we win 4 in a row? And will we trade him then? Where is the cutoff? Are you just playing it week to week? That is not fair to your players. That's not fair to Jordan Love. That's not fair to your coaching staff. And then what happens if Aaron Rodgers was just good last year? Because he won MVP?
Dan.
Where is the line? You guys selected Jordan Love.